Okay. Late start to the vlog today, 1:30 p.m. This morning was pretty uneventful. It was writing emails and making phone calls, and the one thing that's really annoying me is I bought the GorillaPod. This GorillaPod. I bought it like, a month or so, almost a month ago. And I paid for it right away, but then I got a reminder from the place where I bought it, like, hello, you have not paid your invoice. And I was like, yes, I did. Look, here's a bank statement. Here's a screenshot of the transaction with the date. Here's the bank account number. Check it. I paid for it. And they're like, well. And so this morning I got an email like, you've got to contact your bank. Like, why? I mean, I will, because I want to get it sorted, because it was like $87, but I paid for it. Why is this so complicated? Yesterday was the first day of summer, and today it really doesn't feel like it. I mean, look at this. Just look at that. Look at how gray and gloomy that is. That is not summer. Anyway, I'm gonna get some lunch, and then I'm leaving in 2 hours and a quarter to a school show, because there's a school show, and remember how at the graduation I did some live editing and live mixing? That's what I'll be doing at this school show as well. Toby and Barrett are filming, and I'll be doing the live editing, which is a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot last time. So Toby's picked me up in like 2.25 hours. I'm gonna get some lunch and then do some work. I'm also currently translating Vallée des Rêves, or the film from last summer. I'm translating that into English so we can put subtitles, so we can submit it to international festivals. So that's the plan. I'm also waiting on a reply from the guy about the evening, the Saturday party thing. Friday party thing, because he's got to get me some music so I can edit that. Also waiting on a reply from a rapper that I'm supposed to meet with at some point, because he's got an album project and he wants to work with me on that, which is awesome. So that's going to be happening soon. What else do I have this week? Tomorrow I'm getting a haircut. Thursday I'm having lunch with my dad. Friday there's a film barbecue. Saturday, not sure what. And then Sunday we leave for England. So it's going to be a busy week. Oh, and I've got to edit some things. I got to edit that video. I got to translate the movie. I got to keep making these vlogs. I got a lot to do this week. I love it. The show itself starts at 6. We got to be there for 4 to start prepping, make sure everything's in place and all the cameras and it's all working and stuff like that. So that's the plan. Made to the school, gonna pick up the camera. We're gonna set all the cameras up now for the show, which is in 2 hours. Okay, there's about a half hour left until Baron shows up with the other camera, so we can set that up. In the meantime, I'm gonna set up a cable that's gonna run from up here to down here for the stage, for the sound and all that sort of stuff. That's the stage. Both cameras are set up. Everything's gonna be happening up there. That's where I'll be editing. That's the live mixing, and essentially the way it works is I double tap and it changes on here. That's the thing, I don't think it works. The show is getting ready here. Everything's ready up here, so I'm ready to edit. I'll see you guys after the show. Show's over. It went pretty well, I'd say. The editing was okay. It wasn't always perfect, but it was pretty good for most of the time. So yeah. All right, evening's coming to an end. It was pretty good. Gonna head home now. See you guys at home. All right, I'm back home. That was fun. It was harder to edit than the graduation ceremony, because graduation ceremony was pretty straightforward, as in it was just like, okay, this person is talking now, and then these people are listening, and this guy's giving a speech, and this person's performing. And here was a show. It was like all over the place, and it was hard to get, because like there were no headsets, so I couldn't communicate with Barrett and Toby, who were manning the cameras, and it wasn't always the easiest thing. But overall, I think it went okay. I got a bottle of champagne out of it, so that was good. Also, this afternoon I was watching a very fascinating interview with Darren Brown and Richard Dawkins, where Darren Brown was talking about cold reading and psychics and that sort of stuff, the techniques they use. And if you don't know, cold reading is a technique that allows a stranger who, for example, someone who claims to be a psychic, to go up to you and tell you things about yourself that seem very accurate and very specific, when in fact they're just bogus general statements or fishing for information. I mean, if you ever seen a TV psychic, he's on TV, he's an audience of 50 people, they're going to give a very general name, like, oh, have you seen Mike, or have you seen John, or whatever, right? And someone is bound to pick up on that. They're bound to say either, oh yes, my name's John, or oh yes, one of my relatives who is dead was called John, or oh, someone I know is called John, and blah, blah, blah. And the guy's going to go from there and make it seem like he knew it all along. Let's say he says, I'm getting a J, I'm getting John, and someone says, oh yes, that was my grandfather, he died. And the psychic's going to say, yes, the guy, he's telling me that he died, and it was a very tragic moment for you. And the people who are there are going to think, wow, that psychic totally knew that guy's grandfather died in a tragic accident, and it was terrible. When in fact, the psychic didn't know any of that. He just said the name John, and all those fascinating techniques. And he talks about this thing that I've talked about in the past as well. This quiz, it's an experiment that's been done, many times. I can't remember the name of the guy who originally did it, but essentially you get a group of people together and you give them some sort of personality test beforehand, whether it's like a multiple choice question sort of thing, or whether you ask for a personal item of theirs or something like that you claim is going to help you determine their personality and give them an accurate personality reading. And at the end of it, all these people get a personality reading that they believe is personalized to them, and they all read it, and the vast majority, in fact, most of them say, oh wow, this was incredibly accurate, 80, 85%, 90% accurate. And they swap it with the other person and they find out they all had the exact same reading. It was just Barnum statements, Barnum statements are statements that although very general, seem specific, because Barnum famously said, there's something for everyone. And a lot of what I'm saying here is quotes from Darren Brown and that incredible interview with Richard Dawkins. So it's like 40 or 50 minutes long, but it's definitely worth a watch if you're into that sort of thing. So check it out. I will link it in the description below. I also talked about this sort of stuff in horoscopes in one of my Sunday rants. So if you haven't seen that, I will link that down below as well. That's pretty much it for today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe for daily vlogs, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.